Many of you probably don't know about the Youth Learning Institute, and I'll be real brief, but we do have the great honor of being a unit here at Clemson that creates and delivers best practice programs for youth and families across the state and across the region. And because of that, and I've been here for 17 and a half years, I've got the great honor of working with some of the best people, some of my heroes, some of these practitioners that get up every day and work directly with youth in charter schools and summer camps and different programs. And so I've seen the value of the work that they do, and that's meant a lot to me. How this award came to be, I don't know if you've noticed, but football is kind of a big deal here at Clemson. You walked in the front door, the first thing you see is Deshaun Watson's picture. Not only are we national champs, but for 2 years running, Deshaun was one of the front runners for the Heisman Trophy Award. Came in second twice. Should have got it.
Twice.
Absolutely. But it was actually during one of those award ceremonies that I got to thinking. And we prop up these athletes and these Hollywood stars and these singers who are amazing talents, and many of them do great things with the influence that they have. But what if we had a Heisman Trophy for youth practitioners? What if we had an award to recognize people that I see as heroes, people that get up and do this hard work every day? What if we had a Hall of Fame? What if all the staff that I've worked with over the years, what if we had a Hall of Fame where we could recognize them? So I don't have the budget that they have at the NCAA, unfortunately, but we had a little money, and so we said, let's create an award, and let's recognize someone. I don't know if this is going to lead to a multi-million-dollar contract. So we'll see. But the thought that really came to me is a lot of times in our society, we confuse being famous with being influential. And this award really is to recognize someone who is influential, somebody who's made an impact in the lives of others. And Stephanie read the purpose of the award. Let me read just a couple of the requirements, the criteria that were listed. This person needed to serve as an example to other youth-serving programs. They needed to demonstrate best practice and create a nurturing environment where there was inclusivity and human resilience. They needed to equip young people to lead and to serve. This person needed to have a positive impact on the lives of young people and lead by example and be a professional. Another criteria was they needed to share best practice with other youth practitioners. And so we received nominations from all over the country, from Texas, California, Maryland. Next year I hope to get many more, but everyone that was sent in was worthy. These were the heroes that I was looking for, but one stood out. And that individual is Dan Matthews, and I want to read some of the things that were mentioned in his nomination. Dan is the Chief Operations Officer of Camp Twin Lakes, which is in Georgia. He's a champion for all youth, using play at the center of his outstanding leadership and tireless efforts in furthering development, access, and professionalism in the field of youth development. Dan has worked his way from volunteer in 1993 to program coordinator to camp director to his current COO role, all while maintaining an active hand as a practitioner in programming and staff training. Dan develops a community that celebrates the inclusivity of campers. Dan started the CTL Fellows program that trains young professionals and send them out to different youth development agencies. Dan and his staff coordinate service days for corporations in the Atlanta area that help raise awareness of the value of play, as well as provide meaningful team building for the employees of major corporations. Dan has been deeply committed to and involved in ACA, American Camping Association. Dan organizes and hosts a partners workshop for over 60-plus nonprofit partner organizations. Dan utilizes every available pulpit to raise awareness about camp being an instrument for youth development. And the last comment, I think, kind of seals the deal. Dan is an excellent standard bearer for the inaugural Youth Development Practitioner Award. So Dan, if you would come up. Youth Development Practitioner Award, April 4th, 2017.
Thank you. Thank you, and I appreciate letting an old bulldog get up here and. Sorry, I know we're gonna go. I'm really blown away by this honor. I so appreciate it from the Play Coalition. Stephanie, thank you. Gwen Powell, who has been a dear friend and mentor for me for many years, and I look around the room and I see other mentors and champions of youth development, and play. But really, the only way I can accept this award is on, accepting it on behalf of the campers that have taught me over my career the value of perseverance and the value of personal connections. We all know that play is the root of learning, and those brain paths that will soon carry music and art and medicine and law and engineering are all rooted in play. But for the children we serve at Camp Twin Lakes, children with illness, with disability, it also is the genesis of things like accessibility, self-determination, inclusion, and healing. All of that happens in play. And it is our responsibility to make sure that every camper and every person that comes through our organization understands that value and understands, and frankly, some of the adults to get out of the way and let those things happen. Our goal is that the campers are really the primary creators of our program, not just consumers of the program. And we work through play and flow, and we are creating, we hope, a more mindful and contemplative group of children who have persevered. And we often get comments about how the work we do is so sweet and wonderful because we work with, we talk about the poor little sick children. But I'll tell you, because of the situations that these children have faced, and because of the situations that they have triumphed over, these children are the game changers in our society. These children who have faced things like cancer, faced things like muscular dystrophy, faced things like having a parent who's incarcerated, have a greater capacity to be game changers than the rest of us do, because they have been able to overcome so much. Again, I'm blown away. I'm grateful. I'm humbled to be just in the room, but to have some nice hardware to take back and show our friends in Georgia. And thank you for this affirmation of the work that we're doing. Thank you.
I will say in closing, we made the right choice, for one thing. And second of all, we're going to do this again next year. So be thinking about these heroes that you know. I'd like to see the nomination pool grow next year, and let's recognize these people for the work that they do.